Thanks, Jessie. Kaiwa, ngang Gina, Williams Guy, Ngalak Jerp and Nunuk. Oh my God, I'm nervous. I can't say nervous. We don't have a word for nervous in Yunga. Ngang Court Jerp Nunuk Jina, Ngang Court Jerp Nijabuja Yir Yaking, Nijabuja Ba Kwabadak Buja were Ngang Court Cardigan Ngalak Wam, Ngang Court Cardigan Warajari Mort Balaban Konda Kardak Nijabuja Koorliny Balaban Kondam Dal Balnija Kalyakoori Kaiwa. Hi, my name is Gina and this is Guy Ghouse, and we're very happy to see you. If there's more than 5 people, it's a gig, so we're really stoked. We're very happy to be in this spectacular room. Oh, wow. And we respectfully acknowledge that we are visitors to this place, and we want to pay our deepest respects to the Wiradjuri people who've held this place past and present. We've got songs in Noongar language for you tonight. We write and perform contemporary songs. This language is very rare, and in my mind and my heart, it's the most beautiful language I've ever heard and learnt. There are less than 400 speakers, according to the Bureau of Statistics. There are 372 speakers of Noongar language left, so she's a very rare jewel. Those that want to say she's extinct are wrong. It's limited edition. We're going to start with a brand new song, which was inspired in Karajini Gorge, which is about a 14-hour drive northeast of Perth. We wrote a lullaby. We're going to do that? Yeah, tense up. I don't remember the words. Nukut ngunding Kulangka, kundam kuling aliwola, nuna mut ba I have this theory, and we've nicknamed it #5words. So there's always a bit of a call to action, and tonight the call to action is to go home and learn 5 words of one of the languages of this land, preferably the language of the land on which you're living. There are, 24 million people living in Australia, calling it home. If every person learnt 5 words, our languages would be secure. As long as we all learnt 5 different words. So, I want to teach you one Noongar word. Can you say wula? Now, if we were doing this in Auslan, we would go wula. Can you do this? Wula. Wula in English is woohoo. It'll come in handy at some point. What Guy and I do is informed by 4 principles which were given to us by my Uncle Tom Hayden, who is a Balladong elder. Balladong people are one of the 14 clan groups that make up the Noongar nation. Uncle Tom says the 4 things, if you have them in order, everything else works. These things are our court. Can you say court? Your court is your heart. The second principle is mort. Can you say mort? Mort is your family and the people that you choose as your family. So tonight we are mort. The third principle is buja. Can you say buja? Oh, you sound like Noongars. Buja. Buja is our land. And the 4th principle is Koorlangka. Can you say Koorlangka? Koorlangka is children, but it's more than that. It's about legacy. It's about, for us, it's about rewriting the script. It's about leaving this place in better shape than how we found it. My heart is happy at the thought of you. You are my great love. My heart is happy that we are that we are here together. My heart, it sings. I sing from my heart. I sing to my mort, to my mob. I sing on our land, our buja. Ngang Warangka, I sing. Warangka Ngaank Ngan Warangka Ngang Jerp Ninnyok Kadajan Ninnyok Ngany Kudama Ninnyok Ngany Kudama Ngang Jerp Nalak Deutsch Deutsch Ngang Bal Warangka Ngany Bal Warangka Warangka
Kalyakoori ngabaladong.
Thank you. This is the title track to an album that we released this year. I can't believe it's this year. It's been a bit manic. But it's my favourite creature in the entire known universe. It's the Bindi, the butterfly. And what I love about her is that there's parallels between the journey of a butterfly and the journey of my language. She starts out happy enough, you know, she kind of just gets out in the garden and does her own thing, and then she starts getting sprayed and squashed and people want to wipe her out because she just wants to eat, and I have an issue with that actually. I like eating, I don't want to get squashed. Anyway, what I love is her genius coping mechanism. In her darkest moment, when the caterpillar thinks it's all over and it's going to black, she turns into a butterfly. Well, actually she doesn't. What she does first is she gets a really big belly full of food and she builds herself a doona fort and she takes a nap. I love that. And we see these little doona forts, these little cocoons around the garden, and it's easy to think that there's nothing going on, but actually what's happening is amazing, because for the Bindi to survive the next part of her journey, she has to come completely undone. I love that. And when she busts out, she's fresh and she gets a new start. Wouldn't it be great to take a nap and wake up with a completely new... Ta-da! I wake up in the morning like... But we look at her and suddenly she's beautiful. And she's always been beautiful. My language has been reduced to a whisper by policies and things, and people have said that it's something that should be forbidden, and so for a while it disappeared and it went underground, and people wanted to say that it was dead and it was extinct, but it's not, it's just sleeping. And what we're witnessing, not just with Noongar language, but languages across the country, and it's so exciting, we're seeing this beautiful renaissance of languages that have always lived here, and we think, oh, wow, isn't it beautiful? It's always been beautiful. We're the ones that have changed. So, Bindi, she's not Winyan. No, the Nyungar's in the room now. Winyan is weak. She's not weak. She keeps a murdich court. She keeps a strong heart. And Bindi, she's chirping. She's happy because she never wants for what's not hers. Bindi, she's quabadok, she's beautiful, she's not frightened of her past. And Bindi, she's mordich, she's strong, because she's focused on exactly what's in front of her. And it's not a tram going down St Kilda Road. Bindi, she comes before us and she dances, kakaruk. And we see her just for a minute, and then poetic license, I think she sings. I reckon she goes, Warangka, I'll talk to you soon, and then she's gone. And even though we only see her for a tiny little minute, whenever we conjure a memory of a butterfly, it's always beautiful. So she becomes Quabadok Kalyakoori. She becomes beautiful forever. This is the Bindi, the butterfly.
Bal you at winyan, bal kanyin morich court. Bindi bal chirpin, bal you at kurdak, not you at bal. Bindi bal quabadak, bal you at kurak wayin. Bindi bal morich, bal milan. Chinanin quabadak Kalyakoori quabadak Kalyakoori Bindi bal kakaruk Chinak bal Kalyakoori, Wabadak, Kalyakoori.
Okay, can we get everyone to sing Kwabadak Kalyakoori? Don't be frightened, I'm one of 9 kids I got all night. Ready? Here we go.
Wabadak, Kalyakoori.
I can't hear you.
Wabadak, Kalyakoori.
Okay, like a rugby team now.
Wabadak, Kalyakoori. Wabadak,
This is about as political as we get. This song is my favourite word. It's based on my favourite word in anyone's language. It's Kalyakoori. Can you say Kalyakoori? Just think, if you've got a friend named Carl and he's really cool, you can say Kalyakoori. That's how we remember it. Just like Warangka, which means sing. That's, what's that fella's name? Bob Carr's brother? You made that joke up. Don't shake your head and look at me like I just found that myself. It's my favourite word in anyone's language, Kalyakoori. It means forever, but Noongar, we don't know how to do things by halves. So it's like heaps of forever. If John Howard was doing Kalyakoori, he'd have forever and GST. It's this notion of, see, we always think of forever like Gina's taking forever to introduce the next darn song because it's from this moment on, but Noongar see it as before and now and then into the future, tomorrow, Benang. So it's always was, always is, always will be. This is a song about custodial responsibility, and I want to talk about this in a modern context because we all call this place home. And we need to connect, not just to land and country and language, but to each other. Because an individual voice is small, but when we connect, we become powerful. So the translation is simply this: speak well, for I'm listening and I know you have much to say. Walk gently, this earth is nganop, it's still, and I know it has much to show. Look now, here it is, this earth, it turns. From day to night, from the earth to the sky, from the past to the present to the future. Nyunga karak nija buja kura weye ngalang kondam pal nija Kalyakoori. First Nations people have always held this place, past and present, but our dreaming collectively it belongs here too, and it's forever. It's Kalyakoori.
Nyunga karak nija buja kura weye ngalang kondam pal nija Kalyakoori. Nyunga karak nija buja kura weye ngalang kondam pal nija Kalyakoori. Kubuwangil ngang jalin alichanunu pula wangil berik berik Kulin bujabal nganap ngang karajen alichabal pula jinan. Nyunga karak nija buja kura weye ngalang kundam pal nija Kalyakoori. Ye Jinang Nijabal Nijabujabal Kurang Kedalak Kedalak Buja Wolak Kura Kura Ye Benang Nyungakarak Nijabuja Kura Waye Ngalang Kunam Nija Kalyakoori Nyungakarak Nija Puja Kurawa Ye Ngalang Kundam Pau Nija Kalyakoori.
Thank you. Guy Ghouse sitting here getting all excited about the sound fellas here. You fellas put the into Murich. True God, it's awesome. Well, Murich is solid, by the way, and we say it a lot on Noongar country. We say Murich a lot too, but not everyone says you put the into it. So that's a really big compliment. Thank you. I'll shut up now. Oh, I can't shut up, can I? Oh dear. Okay, so the last of our court songs is kind of my story. I have spent a lifetime almost living in fear of everything. I am scared of everything, and sometimes that is crippling. I don't like walking into rooms full of people. It's a bit of a thing, but anyway, I'm getting over that, and I've narrowed it down to 3 things that I am actually allowed to be properly scared of. I'm allowed to be scared of flying, because putting yourself into a metal cannon and firing yourself long distances is the most unnatural thing a human being can do. We are not meant to fly. The second thing I'm allowed to be frightened of is lightning, because that can kill you too. And the third thing that I'm allowed to be frightened of is spiders, because they are evil and they're unpredictable and they freak me out. I'm allowed to be scared of those 3 things. I'm really hopeful that I never have to be scared of those 3 things at the same time. Seriously though, I have days where I can't get out of bed. I have days where I just sit in my doona fort and try not to think about eating boxes of pills. It's crazy because I have a good life. I have 3 amazing children. I get to be Cinderella at the ball. I get to sing and I get to share this magnificent language, and I know that I should be grateful, and I am really grateful, but sometimes this internal dialogue is not helpful. What I've come to realise though is that it's actually none of this is about me. This is about legacy, and it's about my kids, and it's about making sure that I do as much as I can to make sure that this language is heard, that it doesn't drop off on my shift. So I wrote a song as a kind of a therapy exercise, I guess, but it's about the daily decision to get up and to represent, because we walk in a world that is bigger than us. So translation is, I walk in dark spaces. Sometimes all I hear is my heartbeat. I have no idea where I'm going. I just know that I'm on my way. I'm here and I'm learning and I'm following my dream, and I'm trying not to be frightened anymore. I'm trying to trust that somebody is watching over me. So I stand up and I move and I follow my heart, and I look beyond the things that frighten me. And one day I'm not going to be here anymore. None of us are. I'm going to go back into the earth, and when that day happens, I I'm hoping that it won't be frightening, because I hope that someone is watching over me. This is called Ngaank. I have a fourth fear that I have to confess right now, because, oh man, you need to hear this one. I'm always terrified that I'm going to forget the first line of this song. Oh no, Thanks for joining us. No, I'm kidding. This song is inspired by the Anzacs, and there's a connection. Like, I'm not just kind of chasing rabbits madly here. Well, kind of. No, not really. The Anzacs left from Menang, Budja, Albany, Western Australia, and we were invited to attend a community do. And so Albany's about 5 hours drive, so we hopped in the car and drove till we lost the will to live. Not quite. I'm tricky to be in a car with because it's a confined space. And anyway, You got 2 days, he'll talk about my issues. So we got invited to this community gig, and we were driving down thinking, oh, it's going to be lovely because, you know, I'm thinking sausage sizzle, right? I'm just painting a picture. I'm thinking sausage sizzle, some elders, it's going to be wicked. Get my face painted. Yeah! We get there, and the first hint that something is not quite what we expected, we got caught up in the motorcade with cars that had flags sticking out of them. We thought, oh, hello, this is interesting. Starting to rethink my choice of clothes today. Anyway, we drive up, and then there's people with suits and earpieces and sniffer dogs. And they come up to us and they start talking about briefing us for when the Prime Ministers, plural, arrive. So we politely excuse ourselves because we've got to get changed out of our feeling deadlies into our looking deadlies. It was the launch of the National Anzac Memorial Centre, and there were all these prime ministers and important people. Yeah, it was helicopters and TV crews from all around the world. It was something else. But what was really amazing was we sat next to this beautiful elder, Auntie Treasy Woods, who was doing the Welcome to Country, and we got talking to her, and I asked her, did you know of any Noongars that signed up? Because at the time, people fudged their identity to sign up and to fight in these wars. And she said she remembered as a very, very little girl that 3 uncles went away and 2 came back broken men. And as a tiny, tiny little girl, she remembers having to tiptoe around her elderly uncles because they were shell-shocked. And it got me thinking, you know, Noongars weren't citizens. They would have seen their loved ones wear these uniforms and get onto these boats and disappear off the horizon. There's no Google Maps, there's no Twitter or Facebook or, you know, social media they have no access to information, wondering where their loved ones are, if they're safe, if they're warm, if they've got full bellies, when they're coming home, if they're coming home. So we wanted to write something that honoured the families, and in particular this little girl who waits for her uncle to return. We've named her Ninnyok, which is little girl. Ninnyok, Ninnyok, Yirayak, Ninnyok, Dabakan, Kulin, Nuna Kongpao, Kulin, Nunuk Yuat, Wayin Ye, Ngalak Wanju, Warangka, Nunuk Jinang, Nuna Kong, Bao Bada Bao Yella Kitch. Little girl, stand tall, little girl, go along steadily. He is there, he's traveling, don't you be frightened now. We will sing our welcome song. You will see him very soon. He's close, he is waiting. Ninnyok, Ninnyok, Yirayak, Ninnyok, Dabakan, Kulin.
Jinang Nonaka Bao Badu Bao Yella Kish Ninnyok 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 Ninnyok
Thank you. The second of our mort, our family songs, is I'm a product of 4 dysfunctional families. I have a family that created me, my biological family. I have a family that chose me, my adopted family. I have a family that rescued me, my first foster family. And I have a family that showed me some tough love because I was a pretty angry little girl. So I have a second foster family, and I'm grateful for that. Christmas is expensive. But I am grateful for the investment of these people, these families, this village that has raised all this. If you like me, you can thank them. If not, you can blame them. No, I'm kidding. It means that I write fairly obsessively about my mums. And this is part of my biological mother's story. She was stolen. She's part of the stolen generation. She was removed from her mother, who was removed from her mother, who was moved off her homelands and never got to see them again. She was taken to a mission a couple of hours out of town, and where the mission is, it's in this sort of valley, and there's a couple of nearby towns, and she tells this story of being able to walk up the hill as the sun's going down and seeing the lights and being told that she'd never be able to escape and she'd never see her family because they're gone, and it simply wasn't true. When we first started doing these songs, my mum was, what's the way to put this? My mum was a bit nervous. She was a bit frightened that I'd get growled for singing language, writing language songs and singing language. It was quite a political thing at the time. People have seemed to have settled down a bit over it now. But what transpired in conversations with my mum was that actually what she was saying was that this had trauma attached to it. As a mission kid, she had this language beaten out of her. They were forbidden to speak it. So we wrote this song, and I played it to her about 4 weeks out of launching our first album, and I really needed her to like it. Not because we were launching an album in 4 weeks' time and there was a song about her on it, but because it was kind of part of the healing, I think. So she listened to it a few times, and in the end she simply said, "Would you teach me my language?" Which is tricky, but this story is not unique to my family. It's not unique to Noongar people. It's not even unique to Australian Indigenous people. The establishment has been firmly in the business of removing children all around the world. Some never to feel the embrace of their families. Some to never see their heartlands ever again. Nyit Barnap, the little orphan girl, she has no mother, she has no father. Nyit Barnap, the little orphan girl, she has no love in her life, and she doesn't understand why. And the authorities come and they tell this little orphan girl, "You have no mother and father, you will never see them again because they're gone." But this little orphan girl, this little Nyit Barnap, she doesn't buy it. There's something about the way that they're telling her this, that she, in her heart, she knows that that's not right. So she goes outside and she looks up at the night sky, and in amongst all the stars, she sees her family there. So Nyit Barnap, this little orphan girl, she goes back to the authorities and she says, "You're wrong. I do have a family. I keep them here in my heart." for the tens of thousands of children who are still hurting from being taken from all over the world. I would love to think that in amongst that mix there's one little orphan girl or little orphan boy who knew that that was wrong. And this song is for them. This is Ninnyok Barnap.
Ninnyok Barnap, you are Ngaank, you are Mambat. Ninnyok Barnap, Ninnyok Barnap, you are Karajan, you are Jurabin, Nacho, Wajala Kulin Bal Barnap Yok Wanganin, Nunuk you at Ngaank, were Mambat Barang, Nunuk you at Chilang Nunangang, were Mambat Balap Kajali would Kulin, Ninnyok Barnap, Bal Hira Jinan, Kedalak Ngat Djinda, Bal Murdali Chaya Ken, La da 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 da. Ninnyok Barnap, Wajala Wanganin, Nijabalap Nganyang Moj, Nganyang Kurak.
Thank you. The second part to my mum's story, as a child she was taken, but as a mum she relinquished 3 babies. My older brother, me, in spite of being the most beautiful baby on the planet, and my younger sister. I can't imagine, as a mum myself, it must have been an impossible choice. But she had to make difficult choices. And so this song is for Ngaank, my mum. And mum, she falls down and her tears shine on the earth, and my child is gone. Why is my child gone? But we tell her to stand up, no more crying. Walk strong on this land because your babies are coming back. And that's what the 3 of us did. We all came home to our mum. This is Ngaank.
Ngaank bawalin najul walingang, Ngaank you are walin, you are walingang, Ngaank not a wordin, mi ajan bojak kanangko. Nganyang mawit bal jul walin Ngaank you are walin you are walin Yira yak you are walin Ngaank Murdich Kulin Bujara Ma with you I'll cool Ngaank pa walin Jul walin Ngaank you are walin you are walin
We have a song that was written in Victoria. We had this kind of insane tour. We thought it was a good idea to play Port Fairy and then drive to the Blue Mountains and play a festival. Hey? And then back. And then but in Port Fairy, this beautiful lady offered us a place to stay. She came to us and she said, I've checked your website, you've got 4 days off. I never know what I'm doing. I look at Facebook to see what's going on. Anyway, we went, okay. And she went, look, you're probably going to be really tired after going to the Blue Mountains. Come back and stay with us in Benallaby. And so we talked about it for a few days because, is she crazy? Is she not? Like coming up to complete randoms like us and offering us a place to stay. And so we ended up taking her up on the offer, and it was the best thing that I think I ever did. This song we wrote in Benallaby, I was having a nap, and as I fell asleep I heard a wind chime, and it inspired this tune. And it's a lullaby, so we've called it Benallaby. All right, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Ghouse.
Bedik yay ngalang Koorlangka nukert ngundin nunamambar wa nunangang ngalak nija kundamat wajenak wajaku Kwabuin bal you all cool when nuket ngundin ngalang Koorlangka nunamot bal Kalyakoori.
I probably should I should translate that. So it's go gently now, our child. You need to go to sleep. You need to lay down to sleep. Your mother and your father are always here in your dreams. The bad spirits will flee, but the good spirits will come to stay. So lay down to sleep, our child. Your family is forever. Oh, I know. Okay, we're going to move on to songs of Butcher, of our land. And I'm not going to translate this. I'm going to back announce it, though. Thank you.
Djinda kanangko Ngaank jin nachnunu Yirangalang pujurai Boy amakin wolan Djinda, Djinda, Kalyakoori, Ngaank, Djinach, Bujarak balap weirs Mikang bal you all cool Ngangkada jen Ngalang kura kara Ngada Djinda kera Ngalang birdie about what cool Balap you up cool You at yellow kitch You at that yin wangin Not a Djinda kera Ngangkada jen nunuk jinangin Nach nunuk jinangin Wanijabal malu Kalyakoori Kulin, kulak you all Kulin, not a Djinda kera la, Ngangkada jen nunuk jinangin, nach nunuk jinangin. Ngangkada jen nunuk jinangin Nach nunuk jinangin Wanijabal malu Kalyakoori Kulin, kulak you all Kulin, not a Djinda kera la, not a Djinda kera la, under the Milky Way tonight.
Thank you. The translation was inspired by a campfire jam in the deep south of WA, and it was a beautiful night. It was freezing, and there was a billion stars out, and someone started playing that song, and mentally I started doing the translation and realised I could do the first and the third verse, and we got a bit smart about it. We thought we were a bit clever, a bit thingamself. And we jumped up on stage and we were going, oh, if anyone knows Steve Kilby, get him to give us a call because we did this to his song, ta-da! And you can imagine my absolute horror when one day in the Doona Fort my phone rings and it's Steve Kilby and he's going, I believe you've done something to one of my songs. was like, oh my God. Anyway, he was incredibly generous about it. And then he had a crack at me about the second verse. Why didn't you translate the second verse? I was like, dude, lower the curtain down on Memphis. Like, Noongars didn't have curtains, man. And he was like, he goes, oh, I'm not singing like literally. I'm singing about Elvis. I'm singing about the king. The king's gone. He's left. He's not coming back. Can't sit around talking about it under the Milky Way. And I thought, ding, ding, I can translate that. So, ngalang berdia bal wat cool, bal you are cool, you are yellowkitch, you are datnin wangan, Ngarda Djinda Kalyakoori. The boss is gone and he's not coming back. So no waiting, no sit down talking under the stars tonight. The end. The Balladong clan group is one of the 14 nations, one of the 14 clan groups that make up the Noongar nation. We are one of the largest nations in Australia in terms of geography and also in terms of population. 40,000 people identify as Noongar. Of that, 372 people identify as speakers, so that's less than 1% of the population. It's tiny. So Balladong, my mob, they live inland, and so we were landlocked. Our territory was landlocked and we would never have seen the ocean. Something beautiful happens when you live inland. The sun goes down, the land breeze is sweet. When you're by the river and there's a fire and it's warm and we dream under the moonlight and under the stars, and we wait for tomorrow and thoughts turn to those that we love. This is Bilyak. I just realised the last time we did this song with you in the audience, I totally had a moment where the hamsters just kind of disappeared to the coast and I forgot the words. I'm going to try not to do that this time. Oh no, Kelsey, help! No! Not helpful.
Ngalak ngada, bilyak Kulin, ngalak Warangka, ngalak ngada, bilyak jerpin, ngalak Warangka, bilyak Kulin, ngalak Warangka, ngonyonganka, ngak ngada Djinda, kalang. Kundam, Djinda, Benang yellowkitch, Kurama, Ngany Kura, ngalak you out Warang Djinda, Jel bilyak ngalak. Ngalak Warangka, ngonyonganka, ngada Djinda, kalang, mikanga kundam, Djinda, benang yellowkitch, bilyak Kulin, ngalak Warangka, ngalak ngada, bilyak jerpin, ngalak Warangka, bilyak Kulin, ngalak Warangka.
This story comes from Noongar country. It, with the 14 clan groups, that means that there are at least 17 versions of this story. Because, and I can say this, if you put two Noongars in a room, we come out with 3 political parties. This is my favourite version of this particular story. And it is the story of Kulbadi and Warang, the story of Magpie and Crow, and it goes like this. Kura knitting buja. Long ago when the earth was cold, Noongars didn't call it the dreaming. We were awake because it was freezing. There was Kulbadi the magpie and there was Warang the crow, and they were close like brothers. They had feathers that were pure white. They were very beautiful birds and they totally knew it. They're what we call think-em-self birds. You fellas might call them up yourself. Anyway, they would get down to the bilya, down to the river, and they would talk to the other Barnap, and they'd go, Yinga-bul quabadak, Yinga-bul quabadak. Who's the prettiest? Who's the most handsome? Who's the best looking? And depending on who the Barnap were talking to, they go, oh, cool buddy, you too daddy for this party. There's no one finer than you. Or they go, oh, no, you know what? Kulbadi might be daddy. Don't worry about him, though, because everybody marang for warang. Marang is like when you itchy for someone. No, it's not. I think there might be children in this audience. It means that you want to marry them, have a very successful and stable relationship, and you want to raise children that are very good citizens. It worked perfectly until one brother overheard the other. You can imagine, 2 very vain, very jealous brothers. Biggest rip, big fight, fell into the fire. Nyon. Bad days came for those who were once close brothers. This is the point where things change. Warang, he hit the bottom and his feathers turned completely, perfectly, beautifully black. You can never be too black after all. Kulbadi, he thought he was going to get away with it. Little wings fairly going up in the air, but he got caught with the ashes and the smoke. Nyon, Kulbadi packed up his nest. Last we heard, he moved with all that flash mob down Brighton way. Hey? Yeah, sip and shardy with all that mob down there. Nyon, but Warang, he stayed in touch with his bogan roots. He moved to Footscray. Key word in this song, I lived in Kensington, I know all about these suburbs. Key word in this song is Aliwa. Can you say Aliwa? Oh, you said it proper. Gotta say Aliwa, because Aliwa means look out. This is the story of Kulbadi and Warang, the ballad of Magpie and Crow. 2, 3. Knitting buja, Kulbadi Warang, Mordich Kurda, Bala Kurda Kalyakoori, Warangka you are cool, Warangka Kwakurda, Warangka you are cool, you are Mordich Kurda, Bilya Kulbadi Barnap. Yinga-bul quabadak, Yinga-bul quabadak, Barnap Deutsch wangenin, Nunapula quabadak, Warang-bul chinanin, Kulbadi aliwa. Kulbadi balak kumba bakaju, Ngada word in kalak, balak you at wabada, Warangka ninja, Kura murdage kurda, Barnap wagin dimma, Aliwa, Aliwa. The final of the principles. We're nearly at the end of the journey. What a privilege it's been to share with you tonight. The final of the principles is Koorlangka, which is children, but it's about legacy. I am a product of 4 stolen generations and 4 dysfunctional families. I think in many ways I was doomed, but in most ways I think I'm blessed. My earliest memories are growing up in suburban Perth. In summertime, it's stinking hot, and I can't remember how old I am, but I remember there's a point where I make a conscious decision that I don't like Kerry Packer because he has brought World Series cricket to Australian television, and I hate it because my parents are riveted. It's horrible. The Flash people, I don't even know who they are, but they're not us. They have air conditioning in their houses. We don't. We have blankets and towels and sheets up against the windows, and Mum and Dad watch the cricket. I got the walls. But something magical happens when the sun goes down and we wait for the sea breeze to come in. My parents take down the covers off the glass. They open the windows to let the cool air come in, and while we wait for the cool air to cool the house down, my parents put a blanket on the front lawn, and we flash Noongars because we got a record player that stacks records, that's 6 records. Well, we proper flash fellas, and Mum and Dad, because we live in a very democratic society, Mum and Dad choose 3 records each. So Mum chooses those 2 great traditions of music, country and western, and my dad, he chooses the people that he said really knew how to sing. So on a blanket under the stars, this little girl met Billy. On a blanket under the stars, this little girl heard Ella Fitzgerald. She wanted to be Sarah Vaughan when she grew up, and she wanted to marry Nat King Cole. From his lawn chair, my dad would conduct the Glenn Miller Band, and we loved Duke Ellington. I still do. Mum and Dad split when I was a little girl. My mum was chronically ill. She was addicted to alcohol. My dad asked her to choose between us and drinking, and she left. And the music kind of slowed down a bit. And then 3 weeks after my 12th birthday, my dad passed away from a massive heart attack, and the music stopped. But I got into a habit of doing this thing, and I still do it all these years on. I walk outside and I look up at the stars, and I remember with the deepest gratitude this beautiful man who he held no office, he broke no laws, he did no remarkable thing except that he chose me, and I am eternally grateful for that. This is the 3rd Noongar song that I wrote, and actually this was kind of a clincher. I sang this song in London. I was like Cinderella at the ball. I got to go get a stamp in my passport, and I sang about my dad because I wanted to honour him. My heart is heavy. You're not here. I always thought we'd be forever. Yet, every night I see you because I keep you in my heart. And together we sing. Ngarda Djinda, under the stars we sing. Ngarda Mikang, under moonlight we sing. Kalyakoori, Warangka, forever we sing. Father, I see and I understand that you've gone away, but I'm still here. Yet every night I see you because you're in my heart, and together we sing. This is Mumbat, Father.
Ngaank Mordan Ninnyok Yuat Nicha Ngaank Jen Kedelak ngat nunuk ngang chinanin nunuk kalyakoori Ngaank Wengalak Deutsch Warangka Ngarda Djinda ngalak Warangka Ngarda ngalak Warangka Kalyakoori ngalak Warangka Mambat ngang chinanin kadajen Nunuk wurku ngang nija Kedelak ngat nunuk ngang chinanin Nunuk kalyakoori Ngaank Wengalak Deutsch Warangka Ngarda Djinda ngalak Warangka Ngarda ngalak Warangka Kalyakoori ngalak Warangka.
This is the bit where my dad conducts the band.
Kedelak ngat nunuk ngang chinanin ngalak kalyakoori Warangka Wengalak Deutsch Warangka Ngarda Djinda ngalak Warangka Ngarda ngalak Warangka Kalyakoori ngalak Warangka
We've got time for one more song, but we're going to do two. Sorry, folks. Noongar got the microphone. You fellas are stuck now. Nah, kidding. I'm kidding. You're free to leave any time.
This is a song about hope for the future. I used to despair about our future because, I don't know about Melbourne. I'm sure you fellas are all very cultured and very good, but in Perth, like, there are fellas that get around, young kids that get around, they can't put a belt on. They got pants that come down around here, And I look at them and I despair. I think you fellas are going to be pilots and surgeons and politicians one day, and I don't want you making critical decisions that affect me at all. Not until you can learn to put a belt on. Anyway, we had this situation where this kid was running across the road while my two daughters, my little lionesses, were in the car with me. We were going to the shops. This kid ran across the road and his pants fell down. I thought, yawn, poor kid, can't afford a belt. But my daughters immediately went, Chew, what's wrong with this kid? Someone needs to give him a belt. And I thought, we're all right, actually, because for every one of those, I've got two of these. Yeah, I despair because I worry about our future. We have leaders who are scary. I don't watch news much anymore. I try and watch more cartoons because at least you know who the bad guys are. I worry that I'm going to get bombed into the Trumpocalypse or Trumpageddon by a bad man with a terrible haircut. And I worry that we live in a world where offshore detention and processing of human beings is an acceptable thing in our society. It makes me feel sick to the stomach that we treat people like this. If you can't tell me where you've come from, I'm going to struggle to trust you to lead me. I guess that's, we need to learn. We need to know where we come from, and we need to learn from our mistakes so that they never, ever happen again. This song calls for, where are our leaders? Where are they? What are we going to do when the bad days, when Warangka, Koorliny, when our mothers cry, when the bad days come and our mothers cry? What are we doing? Are we going to look out for each other, or are we going to build walls? I don't want to build walls. I want to live in a world where we are kind and we treat people with dignity and respect, so that when the Murich Kedla you are calling, when the good days come, we're right, and we have Quabadok Kedla Benang. We have beautiful days ahead. This song is called Benang.
Ninnyok Kulin, Ninnyok you are Karajan. When Ninnyok you are Kulin, you are Kora. When Ninnyok Kulin, Ninnyok you are Karajan. When Ninnyok you are Kulin, you are Kora. When Jingalang Maman, when she birdie ngalang Koorlangka, you are cottagen. When she Ninnyok Kulin, Ninnyok you are cottagen. When she Ninnyok you are Kulin, you are Kora. When Ninnyok Kulin, Ninnyok you are cottagen. When Ninnyok you are Kulin, you are Kora. Warangka you are Kulin, Nunangang Pawalin, Ngalang Koorlangka. You are Djinda. buja you are Kulin Nunangang bawalin Mordich kedla you are Kulin Kwabada kedla benang You are cottage and wind you nunuk you are Kulin You are Kora Wind you nunuk Kulin Nunuk you are cottage and wind you nunuk you are Kulin You are Kora
Last song, again, it's such a privilege to be able to, you know, little Noongar foster kid, can't read a note in music, has no, you know, understanding of the theory of music, just gets to sing, learnt to sing by listening from a dad who invested, and I'm so grateful because it all leads to this point, and tonight it's been amazing. We want to thank Jessie Lloyd and the crew here at the Melbourne Recital Centre for having us. What a magical Cinderella experience it has been. We are so grateful. It's just magic. So our last song. English is a massive language, lots of words to say lots of things, which is good for me because I like to talk lots. Noongar, not so big. Few speakers, tiny language. There are words that simply don't translate to Noongar. We don't have a word for stolen. We don't have a word for freedom. We don't have a word for politician or funding submission or offshore processing. We don't have a word, we don't have please or thank you. The closest we come to saying thank you is Yanga, which means to give. And the Baladong dialect doesn't have a strict word for goodbye. What we say is border. Can you say border? Just think you're going over the border, you're gone. That's it, border. Border means soon. So border Warangka, border Djinda, talk soon, we see you soon. It's always Noongar's hope and prayer that we cross paths again. We don't ever say goodbye, we say soon, because we believe we'll run into each other again. So beautiful friends, we don't want to say talk soon. Our hearts are heavy because we're going way, long way away. But we will keep our campfires burning. And one day, maybe you'll come to us on Noongar country and we're jerping for that day. We're happy for that day. When Ninnyok you are cool, Ninnyok you are cool when you return to us. So we say, Borda, we wish you Mordich Koorling, we wish you strong travels, and we can't wait to see you again soon. Would you thank my dear friend, Mr. Guy Ghouse? Okay. We have albums for sale too, and we even got FPOS because I'm uptown Noongar. I don't know how to work it properly, but I'll give it a crack. I got it. Kwabada kura ngalak you at boduan ngalang kut balap morndan nunuk mut kulin bokaja ngalakan yin ngalakalan arin ken kedla nunuk you all cool ngalak chirpin
Ngala kanyin ngala kala ngarin Ken kela nunuk yuaku Ngalak jerpen alit chakela Nunuk yuaku Nunuk yuaku Borda Borda Nunuk borich Kulin Borda 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 Ngalak jinan nunuk borda Ngalak jinan nunuk borda
Borda Jinang, thank you for having us.